This is a Tactical Genius production. Welcome to Virtual Pool 4 Online.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Mark. Welcome to Matt. Well done on your win last night. There are 5 players left in this year's VP4 2022 Virtual World Straight Pool Championship. And the other 2 that are going head to head tonight are Bedhead and Hairpig. Bedhead from Sweden and Hairpig from the USA. Now, like last night, where I thought one of the 2 players last night has to step up, well, Matt managed to do that in one sense, that he's got his high run, so the one way to go about it is to improve how you're scoring. I'm sure he knows he can still improve and be better, as everybody can, but he's going the right direction. Bedhead has been going the right direction in these last 2 matches with very strong finishes to kill off his opponent. And so Hairpig has got to react. He's going to have to step up. Yeah, I saw that, Mark, 82. I mean, the thing is, I never ever noticed if there was any explanation as to why she wasn't in like the last couple of series of Open Allers. I would assume her health was failing and she was unwell and whatever. I don't recall whether she was ever written out of it. She just didn't appear as far as I've seen, but I never watched all the episodes. But anyway, yeah, that's another one gone. Gone to join Artwright in the corner shop in the sky. Well, Steve sent a message earlier on today. I wasn't in the lobby at the time, but he said he would probably join. I presume he knows just to come in. And he should be here hopefully within the next few minutes. So anyway, this match tonight, I think Hairpig, it's the obvious thing. Hairpig's got to stay with Bedhead. A good start would do him a big favour if he could get one. And the one way of doing that is by winning the lag, sticking Hairpig in first of all. So we'll see how that goes. No mic either. Wait a minute, what am I reading? Oh no, wait a minute, I have to get out my chair to see. I thought that said Mike, it's me. Yeah. So, Bedhead was in a little while ago doing a bit of practice. Hairpig's turned up, he's getting a warm up before they're due to start. And of course, need to say Albinario has been in as well earlier on in the day, getting some practice in as he's been doing on a fairly regular basis. So, Albie's getting himself geared up. He's doing the preparation. Stubb clearly isn't. He thinks he can wing it. I don't think it's a good idea, but he does it his way, as we all know. So we will wait and see. And again, I don't think Stubbs responded to Albinario. It's still nothing up in the bracket. So this is a match we're waiting on. And of course, the winner of this match already knows who the next opponent's going to be. It's going to be MC Clarkey. Quick scout across. I don't think anything will have changed here. Stubb still sitting there, keeping Albinario waiting. Albinario's champing at the bit to go. So we'll see. So about 2 minutes to go. Oh, by the way, I've got a weird thing that's happening. I have used Firefox for a long time, and then for about probably the last year, I've been using Chrome. And last night after the stream, I went on to YouTube, and I went to watch how the stream came out, and the video wouldn't load. The circle's going round and round in the middle of the screen as you're supposed to be watching the video, and eventually it comes up with an error. And then when I googled the error, it tells you, you've maybe got files missing from Chrome. I cleared the cache. I downloaded Chrome, reinstalled it, and it's still doing the same thing. Now, I know the video works because I went on to Firefox and the video works fine. But I think the last update that I've had from Chrome has broken it in some way. I don't know what's going on there. But the video is perfectly watchable on Firefox. It loads fine and plays fine, so Chrome's corrupted in some sort of way. I'll worry about that at another time. As long as I've got one browser that works, that'll do for me. So the room should be going up. Steve's yet to show his hand. If he's going to come in. Yeah, he's in the lobby, so.
Hi, Hugh.
Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil, and he turns up.
Hey, I need about 10 minutes. I'm in the midst of trying to get some short ribs in the oven, so as soon as I get that in the oven, I'll be right back.
Right, whenever you want.
All right, bye.
Right, so that room should be heading up right now. Any second. So race to 150, lag for the break. The winner of the lag puts the opponent in. That's the standard rule. You don't have to, but that's the obvious thing you do. Try and force them to get a good break. The room is up. The cloth colour should be at the right colour. Bedhead straight in, no messing about. He wants to get on with it. He's just trying to get his weight a shot again. You know, if you've got your lag dialed in, you should always be getting inside, well inside that first diamond, back into the kitchen. Well, Hairpig went to the lobby and he's keeping Bedhead stewing. He's getting his audio alerts to join the room. Well, they're both in. Bedhead, in this case, will be at the bottom of the screen. Oh, hang on a minute. And I've just started my clock. I just remembered to do that. So we're all set up and good to go. And this is a good lag. But Hairpig nailed the lag. Perfect. So, Bedhead, what's he going to try for a break? Trying to get into that corner. But in this case, he's brought 2 balls out to the right. 15 ball is on. And also the 5. So, Bedhead needs to practice his break. But this is a perfect start for Hairpig as far as an opportunity to get up and running. And he's gone below the 3, so he needs to avoid running into that 8. Welcome to Cobra. Good evening. Steve will be back with us in a few minutes. And what I did last night when I finished as well is I uninstalled the replay and reinstalled it again, so we'll see if that's fixed it. Rather than trying to tweak about with it, I just thought I'll get rid of it and put it back in. And here's hoping it works. Well, this is a problem. I think he's dead in the water here. It's gone pear-shaped very quickly for Hairpig. I can't see anything been manufactured here. I mean, that 6 ball woke up, but that's, you know, straight into the 6. Big cut. And he's certainly going to run into stuff. But he could try just nailing it to the 2. That might be what he's thinking. He's looking at it. He can certainly push through. And if he gets the weight right, he can stick the cue ball onto the 2. I don't think he'd leave much. Well, he's decided to... What the hell has he decided here? What pocket's he called there? Well, I would think he wants to rethink that, because I don't see any problem with rolling that 6 through and rolling to the 2. But he's going for the cut. Oh, brave shot. Good shot. Test the replay. Well, that worked. Sort of. But that's a brave start. He's dug deep there to pick that one out because he was in no shape. It did cut. And he thought about it. I would have chickened out straight away. I would have rolled to that lock-up ball. But I think he's in trouble again. Yeah, he's going to have to call the bank, or he could thin cut the 13, I think. I think he can just get enough of that. And if he's lucky, he might clip the 14 and the 7, although he doesn't need to, but that might keep the cue ball in play. But it looks so thin he might not even hit them. Well, he's playing this with, well, he's straightened the cue up. I thought he was playing it with left English, but I'm just hoping to stay in the table and stay in a shot and obviously pot this. Well, I don't think you need to call them. It's fairly obvious what he's doing. Yeah, he's run into the 14 and 7, but in fact, he's just going to be lucky enough to have a shot in that 7. He could cut the 14 into the side, but anyway, looking at the table, the 14 is in the pack, so the 15 or the 4 could be what he's working round. And it's so important that Hairpig stays at the table here, and it'd be good if he can, for his cause that is, if he can stay at the table and get this first rack done and dusted and on the scoreboard. Because it's the one way to start inflicting pressure on the opponent, albeit it's very early in the match, but you're making some sort of a statement saying that you're here to play, you're here to make a match of it, and not to be taken lightly. So, is he taking the 4 or is he cutting? He's taking the 10, so there's still a couple of nominated balls left there, depending on how things shape up. So he's looking reasonably good here if he can get the spot. Well, I think he's just in two minds whether to take. Is that the 10 or the 12 up the table? I think it's the 12. So now he certainly doesn't want to leave this shot off the 12 if he's going to take the 9 into the side. He wants to be able to just sort of drop the cue ball through for this 15 slightly on the inside. Oh, there's the spam bot again. Good evening to Semi-Pro. What the hell's Bedhead doing in the stream as well? The two of them are at it. Matt last night and now Bedhead. Well, this is not ideal. This is where he didn't want to be short on that 9 ball. He's having to run. The pace looks reasonable. Of course, now he's a lot further away from this 15 ball for comfort here. Again, he's doing the right thing. He's just taking his time until he's happy with his aiming, happy with the point of the cue tip. And that was very solid. Of course, cue ball's way up table, but he's got an easy ball to get him started. That's all you want. Needs to slow up. I think he was playing possibly for the 12 there, maybe to get it square so he could get a breakout on those balls. So he's going to have another go at it. I think he can see the 3. Maybe not. Maybe that's the concern here. He can't. Well, he could get to that 3, but it's a delicate little spin shot, and it needs a deft touch to play that shot. So it's going to be the 7. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups again. Well, he's working hard. And he's dealt with the problem as well. And now he's got a pretty inviting table here to continue his run.
Good evening.
Welcome to Steve. Well, this is a good start from Hairpig, winning the lag, putting Bedhead into break. Bedhead came up with a fairly poor break, and Hairpig's been working hard to stay at the table because it's not been pretty, but he's dug out the shots.
Yeah, well, at this point,
commentator's
this table
curse.
looks great.
Oh.
This table looks great. I mean, I think, he's got, the 2 ball sitting real good. He should get through this rack and have a good break ball. He needs to play good to have a chance against Bedhead, I think.
Well, that's what I was saying. You know, he wants the ideal start. He wanted to win the lag, which he did. He wanted to get first in, which he has done, and he wanted to run out the first rack, which he has done. So this is a way to inflict pressure on the opponent.
Hey, Semi, hi to you too. I can tell you from experience, I'm not, a good starter, and I'm not a consistent player, and I've played a lot of pros, and I've beat a lot of pros, and in every single match with a pro, I'm an underdog, and I know I can make it happen, and I think Hairpig just has to believe that. He has to believe he can make this happen and beat Bedhead.
Yeah, it's a simple scenario. You're playing the table at the end of the day, and everything when you're at the table is under your control. Make the most of what you've got.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think pattern-wise, how they play straight pool, there's not a huge difference between these two. I think Bedhead has a advantage in execution, and that's a big advantage. But Hairpig can nullify that by playing well. Oh, yeah, that's what can happen with draw. That one really got away from him. Boy, it looks like he's going to leave this 1 ball for a break ball.
This is looking ugly.
I'll tell you what, that was a risky shot, and he pulled it off because he's perfect on this 12 ball. I mean, he could stop it. He'd probably going to try to draw it back 2 or 3 inches. I wouldn't try to draw it too much, unless you can draw it up the rail. Oh, I see. That's too much.
Yeah, he's going too far. He's going too straight.
But, he can make something happen here. He's just not going to be able to hit the rack as hard as it would be desired. You don't want to try to overhit this and miss the ball.
I think I would amp this just to get the stun to really fire in. Yeah, he's got it.
Boy, he hit it hard, but he made the ball, and that's the important thing. And he got the cue ball away from the rack, and that was pretty safe, putting a lot of draw on that one. That one was not going to go to the corner pocket at that angle. Well, it wasn't that conventional, but he's still at the table, and he's got the balls open fairly well. I mean,
he's going to collide with something here, I think. And
yeah, well, you got to be careful here because you can get stuck.
Yeah, the way these balls are sitting, they don't look great for a shot. if he just runs over towards that 4.
I'd probably shoot the 7 and go over for the 2 next. Try to miss the 5, 2 or the 8.
No.
And he got a piece, but a little enough piece, it's okay.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's well played. I mean, there was no reason to go into the rack at that point because I think he was asking for trouble with that shot. I mean, the 14 ball, I believe, goes. And,
Yep.
If he wants to, he can use the 2 or the 12 to get into the rack. He's just got to, you got to go into this rack with some speed and pick your spot, or you're going to get stuck.
A bit straight here. He doesn't want to get.
Well, I honestly like shooting a 2 ball here. I mean, because it's easy to get some speed. He's going into the 14-10. Those are going to separate. I mean, the 5 ball sitting there. He may hit the 5 ball here too. It just depends on the speed. But I would shoot the 2.
Oh,
no. He hit it at just the funny speed where all he got was a 10.
Yeah, he's okay.
But he's still okay. He's got a shot. Yeah, I mean, that 4 ball's sitting wonderfully, and he can just roll forward right now and get the shot on the 4 and, move some balls, move that 15 and 9. Ideally, he could just bump the 9 and then, the 15 sitting there for a break ball. And he did not choose to do that. He's got the same opportunity here with the 14 to come around for the 4 ball. I mean, he really needs to get to those balls before too long because, doing it from the 12 isn't as good. It's riskier.
Is he going to leave a bank in this 6 ball, or is he going to look for a hit in that as well? Because that's the other problem he's got.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can get to that eventually. I mean, I would be worried about the middle balls before those 2. I think the shot is play that and come to the 4, which he didn't. Well, he's doing the same thing we've seen a lot of players do, where he's leaving this stuff till way late, and I just don't understand why he hasn't played for the 4 ball.
Well, he's obviously got a game plan in his head. What it is, we don't know, but we're about to find out, and that's not it.
Well, I think he tried to play for the 4 ball. Thing was, he could have just done that once upon a time when he was on the 10 ball and rolled forward, and it was easy. I think he's going to have to play safe here.
Yeah.
I think you just lock him on that 15 ball is the play, I think. I'm not sure he can at the angle he's got, but he can just hit this 4 and stop it there.
He's not looking at the 15-9-3 into the side, is he?
I hope not, because that's not going to go, I don't think. That doesn't look like it's lined up well.
Oh.
I think he's just got to hit this 4 ball and stop it. He's got to make sure the 4 doesn't hit the 13, which means I don't think he can get it locked on the 15, but he can get it real close. Rolling forward, trying to roll forward onto the 13 is no good. I mean, that's hard to do. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to try to stop it on this 15. You want to come as close to that 13 as you can. Well, I'm not sure what he's doing.
He needs to get this right, because if he comes back off this, he'll leave the 15 up the table.
Yeah, see, I didn't like doing that.
In fact, he's left it. Has he left it into the side?
Yeah, he may not have. He hit that pretty good, but I didn't like that shot because it was hard not to leave a shot on the 15. I think he's okay for the side. The only shot he left is up table, which is no gimme.
Yeah.
So, he had an idea and he executed it pretty well.
Well, it's a good start. 35 will do, get you on the board.
I just don't think this 15 is a particularly hard shot. I think Bedhead's going to make this. I mean, it's missable, but I think this is like at least an 80%er.
Yeah, I'd expect him to get it.
Yeah. He had a more guaranteed safety shot. I mean, he wasn't going to be able to lock it on the 15, but he could get it so that it was close enough that it was a really tough shot.
Well, this is where he's going to have to find something safe, because I don't think... Can he get that 13? Can he see
I don't
enough
think
of it?
so. No.
Ah,
I don't think he can shoot it.
let's have a look.
I think he could just thin the 6 and go to the rail. You got to be able to control the speed, but just thin the 6 and put it on the rail next to the 4.
Yeah, that's about it.
I think that's the best chance.
Oh, do
He's
you?
calling something. What's he calling?
He's calling the 6-11 into the corner.
Well, it is sitting pretty good. He's going to have to, maybe throw this just a little. He's putting a little left English on it to throw it. I think it'll go. That's not a bad play.
Good shot.
Yep. Well, he saw something we didn't, and that was a good play. But, that's the thing, is looking for combos. I've been saying this for a few matches here, is that players aren't looking for combos and caroms and things like that enough. And, there he did it, and that could be big. I mean, this could turn into a big run with just that one play. Stop? Nope. Yeah, I think he was trying to make a break ball there. It just didn't work out. He can break on the 6 ball. 9 ball is, I think, in the rack.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah, everything there's no good, so he's got that one choice.
I think he can break on the 6 ball. He's just got to figure out how to get to it. Because I think it's going to be hard to make a break ball from here.
He certainly doesn't want to be coming around the corner and go near that 6 ball off this shot.
No.
And he's avoided it. It's going to have to be the cut in the 4. And he's going to have to go across the table twice here. Got to get the pace in the pot for a start, and then bring that cue ball off that first rail, second rail back into the table, and far enough over to make this 13 easy to negotiate. Watch that pocket. He's okay.
Yeah, he hit it well. All right. Well, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. You just got to not scratch in the side pocket. I like hitting this kind of shot with no draw at all, just all English, all left English, because I think you control the speed better. And he looks like he's putting a little draw on it, which I don't like. I think it's possible. I would just rather roll this with left English. And that also makes sure you're going to go above the side pocket. Go hard.
The pace is slowing up too much. Nice.
Yeah, and that's a bad mistake, because on that sort of shot you always want to go to the 3rd rail, because the 3rd rail helps you control the speed. For sure you wanted to hit that long rail, and he did, he came up short of it.
Oh, I think he's locked up here, I think.
He might have got away with it. He can shoot the 14. It's not the simplest shot, but it is there.
15, I think he's looking at.
Yeah, he can shoot the 15 too. I think that's probably an easier shot than the 14. When they get real close, and you're cutting back like that, it's a little tricky.
Yeah, this 14's a no-no. I would never even look at that, because I could never pick the angle in that.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot it in this game. I might shoot it playing a rotation game where I felt like I could take cover. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's trying to play safe.
Yeah. No.
I don't know about that.
Well, that 4-ball is very tight.
The 9-ball is a reasonable shot up in the corner.
Well, this is a test of shot choice here. I think Bedhead's given Hairpig. I mean, he's given up the table, but he's not giving him anything easy to get him started, and he's given him that choice. This is where you then have to either take the bait or run for cover.
I think the decision here is whether a safety is easier than shooting the ball, and because neither may be that easy, but one of them is going to be better than the other, and I'd probably shoot the 9-ball in this situation. I think that's a reasonable shot to shoot at. I don't see any safeties that are going to be easier than that.
Good evening to Brain.
He's looking at rolling up on that 1-ball. Well, that's actually not a bad play. I mean, he actually left Bedhead a worse shot than he had, so I'll give him some kudos for.
What about that 13, Steve? That looks as if there's just enough of it.
Did he give that up? That's too bad if he gave it up, because that's not a hard shot. I mean, Bedhead's going to make that.
Yeah, Bedhead's nailed onto it.
Yeah, all he needed was the cue ball over about another half inch.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I mean, that's the difference in margins and millimeters there. He's just left enough of the potting edge of that ball there, and Bedhead's off and running.
Well, he came up with a good idea, but maybe didn't execute it right, or maybe he didn't notice that 13 was peeking out or something. But whatever it is, Bedhead's got a chance to put a big run up here.
And he's on the 4-ball. That'll do damage.
Yep. This I would draw because you can scratch off that 1-ball. You try to force through it. I think draw is the right approach here.
Well, that little clip of the 7 onto the 15's done him a favour as well.
Yep, things are looking pretty good here. He's got one little cluster. The 14-ball moved up, and it's sitting in a great spot for a break ball. I think he can get to that 5-12 with the 1-ball. It's tight, but I think he can do it that. So.
Now, is he trying?
I think you can do that right now. I would shoot the 7 and then shoot the 1.
To convince myself that he can get enough of that 1-ball.
Well, it's tight, but you have to throw it a little bit. The thing about that kind of shot is you absolutely cannot hit the 12-ball first. When they're side by side, you can get away with hitting the other ball first, but when it's behind it, you can't do that because it's not going in if you do that.
Well, that's taking care of it. He's got a 14-ball as a break shot. He's got a 15 on the right side, quite high up though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think he'll play for the 14. I mean, the 15's doable, but I think the 14's a lot better. And that's the kind of shot a good player shoots. Instead of going in the side pocket and maybe making position harder, he shot it up table. Which more guys ought to do if it's simple. Pool's a lot more fun when you get to the point you don't have to worry about making the ball.
Oh yeah, it's dead easy. Yeah.
Well, it's not easy, but
if you get the cue ball in the spot every time, it's dead easy.
It makes it a lot simpler when all you have to do is think about the cue ball and you know the object ball is going in the hole. I mean, I don't know if you guys realize this, but that's how good players play. You know, they're not really concerned about making the ball. You know, they're mostly just focused on the connection and execution, and most of that focus is on the cue ball, not on the object ball.
Yeah. So we're getting to the inevitable critical point in the rack again.
Well, I think he's going to go 3-2-8, and you know, I like the 8 because there's lots of ways to get on the break ball.
Yeah, loads of room. Good evening to Larry.
I don't know what he's looking at right now. He should be going 3-2-8. That's the simple thing. There we go.
Larry, get yourself into Discord. Seeing as you're semi-retired, as far as playing in these tournaments are concerned.
Yeah, he got a little straighter than he wants, but he's okay. He's probably going to hit this with just a touch of left English. Oh, he's going to draw it. Okay. He's just going to take the longer shot. That's fine. It's probably smart in VP. Actually, you know, a guy like Jason Shaw, he would have done the same thing. Yeah, he's just not going to miss this shot. Most players probably get closer, but if you're really confident that you can hit the ball hard and accurate, then this is a pretty good shot.
That looks beautiful.
It's not, in VP, it's not like you're going to try to hit it hard and have a mechanical breakdown. Unless your mouse craps out. I guess that would be the only kind. Let's see, looking at the 3-ball. 3-ball, 6-ball, 9-ball. He's got a bunch of things to shoot at.
I think he's spoiled for choice here. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I like the 6-ball. Because it floats down in a good spot. That's the one I would shoot. Hit the 6 and either gently bump the 2 or just miss it. I don't like that as much because, see, the cue ball is floating around, bumping balls, and, you know, it's harder to control.
Yeah, you end up creating problems rather than getting rid of them.
Well, potentially, you know, because you know there's going to be enough speed on it that you're going to hit the ball hard enough that it could run it on top of something.
Well, he could be.
I'd be shooting 10 and trying to get over and shoot that 15.
He could be walking around this 8-ball right now, I think.
Yeah, well, the 8-ball's obviously the best break ball.
Let's see.
I'd leave the 8 and maybe the 3 or 5. I shoot the 6 and then maybe the 15. I mean, come back up around the other side because you want to get rid of that ball. It's blocking the 2, you know. I mean, you can always shoot a combo, but yeah, this is what he's doing here.
He may well be. I'm falling asleep here. He may well be leaving that 11-ball up table to get to the 8.
I would. I mean, that's a great ball to get on the 8 with. I mean, when you don't have some stop kind of situation, the ball up table is usually going to be better.
So Hairpig's first contribution was 35. Bedhead's had was it a contribution of 4 or whatever? He lost a point today, I can't remember, but he's now on to something here.
Well, I would imagine he's going to go 3, 5, 7, 13, 11. He could shoot the 5 here. That's fine too. But he needs to get on the 3 where it's easy to get to the 7. Yeah, he's okay. I just don't want to be right on the rail. It's better to leave more angle here than less. See, that's what you don't want to do, because if you get straight in, then it's a problem.
Yeah, he's bolt straight
Yeah.
on this.
If you're going to draw back to the rail, you got to make sure you got enough speed to come out, because too thin is fine. Straight in is no good.
Yeah, he's going to have to, well, roll forward slightly here and cut this. What ball's that in
Yeah.
the rail? The 13.
Well, that was just a silly mistake, because you either got to hit that kind of weak and not draw it much, or you got to hit it with quite a bit of draw and come back. I mean, that's the kind of thing that, stops runs. Is, a guy that plays as good as him should not be doing that.
Now, is he just going to go
He's going to go back and forth.
2 rails? Oh dear.
Well, maybe he's not. He is going to go back and forth, but he's also missing the ball. And, that all came from, trying to get too good on that 7 and not just taking a thinner cut that he could have just rolled. He could have rolled the ball and been assured of making that 7. He didn't, it wasn't a hard shot.
Yeah, you're right. Any angle would have done him,
Yeah, anything but straight in.
Well, this isn't good.
Well, Hairpig got a little straight here too, but he's just going to leave more angle on the 8, which it lowers the chance of it a little, but it's still not a shot you should miss. I think this, he just, he could punch this if he wants, and he did a little. The good news about this shot is you don't have to hit it terribly hard. You do run a little risk in that if you don't hit it hard, you could scratch, but I think it's going to come in and hit the top of the 6 ball, which is if he doesn't hit this hard, I think it'll hit the top of the 6 ball, and, I don't think it can scratch from there. This is like a medium speed shot. You just don't want to blast it.
Big blind pocket shot again.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get used to those. I mean, that's the thing, is to play straight pull, that shot comes up all the time. And, he missed it by a mile. I mean, we could have been playing with the bigger pockets. I mean, that was 2 balls outside the pocket.
Well, it's an opportunity missed there for Hairpig. Only 2. Bedhead will be relieved. Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Well, there's a turnaround for you. What did the commentators curse go by again?
Well, I'm not sure he was trying to hit those balls. If he was, that wasn't a great play if he's trying to move those, because, you got to be careful. That kind of stuff can happen. But he may have just been trying to go past them. I'm not sure what happened there.
Now, does he leave the 2-3 combo? I mean, that looks fairly simple enough to deal with.
I mean, I wouldn't shoot that now just because of how things are sitting down there. He needs to get that 4 and 15 and get things broken up. I think that's a good place to start, where he just did.
Now, this wouldn't be a good move. I was going to say, if he's potting the 12, he doesn't. Oh dear,
my God.
Goodness me. Well, I don't know whether he was in 2 minds to run forward to the 2 and 3 there. And then he suddenly dug down in the cue ball, and then before you know it, he'd hit the shot. I don't know whether he fully made up his mind what he was doing.
Well, this is the thing that Bedhead can't, or that Hairpig can't do and win. I mean, know, because Bedhead's going to drill him if he keeps doing this. I think a lot of this is just that, he's had to watch a while, and you kind of get out of rhythm. And even though, this isn't such a physical thing with virtual pull, it is a lot like real pull, where, being in the rhythm helps you. And I think when you have to watch a guy run 30 balls and you get out of rhythm, and then when you get the chance, it's harder. You just got to figure out how to make something happen, and next time he gets a chance, because, ball in hand at an open table, he gets 1 ball.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, when you compare it to real life, when you think about it, it depends what you're actually doing. I mean, there's Matt last night and Bedhead earlier on there were in the stream. I think um, when you're not at the table, when it's not your turn, I still think it's far better to be concentrating on what the other guy's doing and what the lay of the table is, so that as and when you get in, you've got your wits about you and you're focused on what you're about. Sometimes you could be, who knows? He could be on, Google right now, messing about, waiting in the little clunk noise to tell him he's back at the table, and you're not paying attention.
Yeah, I sort of agree with that. I mean, I like to be a disinterested spectator, watching my opponent shoot, but I do like to look at the table and say, okay, if I get to the table, where's the issues in this rack, and sort of,
Yeah,
be ready when I get a chance to get up and go, or I don't have to think a lot. Um, but I think if you just really spend a lot of energy watching your opponent, that's why I try to watch my opponent like I would if I was, sitting in the stands having a beer and a hot dog, because I know one thing is, when you play for a long time, like, let's say you play for 12, 15 hours straight, um, your eyes, it's really tough to look at the same color for that long, the table.
oh yeah,
So
you
I'll
got
sit
eye
there and
strain.
I'll look around the room and look at the walls and focus at different distances and try to, now obviously this isn't that long a match where, that's going to happen, but still, if you're really grinding when your opponent's at the table, I think that's not a good thing.
Matt says he doesn't agree. It affects him more to sit and watch. Well, whatever works for you, that's what matters, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to sit and watch, that's fine. You just don't want to put energy into it.
The other thing as well is some of these guys might have screaming kids running around their ankles when they're trying to do things and getting
Oh, you
distracted.
never know what's going on.
You know,
But,
that's half
that's
the
something you
battle.
got to get used to. If you have kids, it's not like you just got them; you've had them for a while. So
Yeah, you got to get them. You've got to get them house trained. When you're on the PC, stay away.
you wanna see some stuff. You watch the Filipinos play pool, and they're playing in outdoor things with just a top over it, and the dogs are barking, the roosters are crowing, everybody's moving around, the cars are honking. So I mean, it's something else watching it, and you'll go like, man, I'd have to get used to this if I go to the Philippines, because it's
Yeah.
it's like crazy. But when those guys get here, they're not going to get distracted
Yeah.
in one of our pool rooms.
Yeah, the other thing is it's 90 degrees and the humidity is 100% and there's no air conditioning.
Oh yeah, when it's humid like that, the tables play terrible. But I'm not exaggerating when I say the dogs are barking and the roosters are crowing. I can put links to streams up where, I mean, the roosters are more than one. They're just going crazy, and it's not like they're 2 blocks away. It's like they're right next door.
Well,
Yeah,
you'd be crowing too, Steve, if you were next for the pot. That poor rooster sitting there knowing that his time has come.
yeah. Well, if you're in the Philippines, yeah, they're probably not going to be around long.
Good evening to Slim, late to the party again.
One thing how come we're not getting many Filipinos watching the streams? Is it just the wrong time for those guys? Let's see, what time is it in the Philippines right now? That must be the problem.
Well, I've never had a Filipino in the stream. They'll be, what, 6, 7 hours behind? So they're just...
It's like next day in the morning. Yeah, right now it's 4:45 a.m. on Tuesday. So that's why they're not in the stream.
Yeah.
That sort of sums it up.
Matt says he's only got a French bulldog to contend with.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That's
that could be as bad as kids.
That's one of those little ugly-looking critters, isn't it?
Yeah, they're cute
They're wee
in an
snap your
ugly sort
ankles.
of way.
Yeah, snap your ankles type dog. Anyway, Bedhead's in business here.
Well, Leander hit that, but that's, let's see what he does here. I think he'll probably just hold it and take a longer shot. Now, just a tip, guys. This kind of shot to hold it, if you hit this with left English and low, you can hold it more. Does anybody know that?
Nope. And Bedhead didn't.
Yeah, if you hit it with inside English, the ball grabs quicker. Plus, it's going to curve some too, so it's coming at a little straighter angle.
Now pressure pot. Nailed it. This might not be a bad thing for Hairpig though, because it's going to give him enough time to regroup. Even though he's going to be coming back to the table behind, it'll give him focus, or it should do.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's going to give him focus, or it's just going to get him unnerved, and
yeah,
he's going to do what he did last time he got to the table. I mean, who knows what he's going to do? Hopefully for him and for the sake of this match, he comes back to the table ready to go. But, who knows when he's getting back?
Well, that's a great thing about competition. It's a test of your staying ability.
Bedhead's a little deliberate. I wouldn't call him slow, but he's certainly not fast. He's a little bit on the deliberate side, and, Hairpig's going to have to wait quite a while here if he runs 60, 70 balls.
Well, I think Hairpig will be dreading that if he runs 60, 70 balls. He'll be over the turn.
Actually, Slim, the throw actually sends it the wrong way. It's really more what the cue ball's doing. I've seen Efren shoot that shot and actually break the angle back the other way. I mean, I've done that before too, but I can't do it the way Efren does it. I mean, he does it on command, and for me, it's like to break the angle back completely the other way is, I mean, you got to hit it unbelievably good.
I think it'd be safe to say he's working round a 7 ball.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, the 1 ball is reasonable too. The good thing about the 1 ball is that, if you can get straight in on the 12 ball, you can just stop it. But the 7 ball is fine too.
Now, he doesn't need to nudge those 2 balls.
No, and he shouldn't.
He just dropped it into the spot. Perfect.
Yeah, you shouldn't be bumping balls unless you need to. I mean, if you just roll up on one real easy and barely nudge it and it doesn't hardly move, that's okay. But in general, in straight pull, you don't want to start moving balls that you don't have to, because that usually ends up being worse.
No, Matt.
See that little bump there? That little bump was good because, he's just bumping to get on the 7. Oh, well, he doesn't want to shoot the 7. That's his break ball. So I'm not sure why he did that little bump.
Before the match started, I had a look at the bracket. Stubbs still not accepted. He's got a proposal that's been sent to him by Albie for, last night, so forget about that one, or Friday or Saturday. So that's the 2 remaining opportunities.
Yeah, Stubbs being Stubb, and if this comes down to the end and they have trouble getting a match, and Stubbs going to be the one that suffers because, he's not doing what he's supposed to do by sending responses. I mean, I've told him that. We went through this before in the tournament with Semi, and we've been through it with some other people. It's just,
I mean, I presume he hasn't responded at all. He hasn't even come back with something stupid like, 7 p.m. his time, which is like 2 o'clock in the morning UK time. Hasn't done, that'd be 3 o'clock in the morning Albie's time.
Boy, I don't like this process of how he's trying to get on this 7 ball.
Yeah, he's a bit straight here for a start.
Well, I just, it's just not a good process.
He's just going
He's
to have
going to
to
end up
roll
with
through.
some kind of draw shot, and if he gets the angle gets funny, he's going to be in trouble. You know, you had a situation where he could have broke with the 15. The one ball was sitting perfect to just shoot a stop shot into the one. You'd be a perfect angle on the 15 in the side pocket. I mean, nobody is looking at those, but when you have that situation where you can just shoot a ball and stop it and you're perfect, then, you know, that's a real easy break shot to get on. Now he's going to have to control the speed or he's going to be in trouble here.
Just a bit too heavy.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a shot you should miss, but the chance of missing it just probably doubled from being out, you know, more than a little 6, 7 inches. I mean, these cutback shots, a good straight pool player would rarely miss this, but you know, guys that aren't used to playing straight pool visually, they may not like this. Well, he handled it like he knew how to shoot it.
Nailed it again.
All right, Semi, don't start in with all that.
Look at these balls. These are sitting very nice. Invitation to the party. Oh yeah, Stubbs a lot of his own, but he knows he has to. You know, he has to. What's the word? I'll find the word. The word's somewhere in the back of my head.
He has to be difficult, and the thing is that you know when he's difficult, like he doesn't do what he's supposed to, and then you know he's the one that gets DQ'd. He's going to complain like the world's against them and it's unfair, and you know, and that's just the way he is. And I don't really care if he complains. I mean, that's fine. It's not going to bother me.
I think
it has
this
no
is
basis in reality.
This rack's taking a touch of deja vu. Look at the 4 ball. Sitting exactly the same spot it was in the last rack as far as I can see.
He's going to shoot to 14 now because he rolled up good on it. I'm not sure. He's trying to figure out whether he wants to go forward or backwards. And he's changing his mind and not shooting it.
Yeah, I remember that. I was watching that at the time. That match with Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry. That's when Ronnie's head wasn't right at the time.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's definitely one of the most talented Q Sports players I've seen.
I mean, there's a guy that. There's a whole reason why he's got the amount of century breaks he's got, because he nails the cue ball pretty much every time onto the spot, and when he doesn't, he gets annoyed.
Well, he's tremendously talented. He plays a lot of shots other people won't. I mean, if you want to see a guy pull out some English sometimes on the snooker table, he'll do it. He plays in a great rhythm. The only weakness of the rhythm, the way he plays, is people probably say, "Oh, he plays too fast, he rushes and this and that." But I think you got to realize that the guys that make sure all the time and take their time, they may not miss a ball that Ronnie would, but on the other hand, they're not going to be having the number of century breaks because he's playing in a rhythm. And that rhythm has benefits. So you got to weigh how is it when he really gets going versus that shot he shouldn't have missed. And it's a different style. I think if Ronnie was a pool player, he would be, one of the very top guys, Hall of Famer.
Well, I think the other thing that he's got this. You can say natural ability, but he seems to be. You always talk about snooker players thinking 2-3 shots ahead. He's got a game plan that is working a lot quicker than most players. I mean, he's sometimes got the referee chasing around the table because once he gets into that rhythm and he knows where he's going and everything's falling into place, it's more often than not that he's just nailing everything putting the ball in the spot. The cue ball's on the spot pretty much all the time, and that's why he is so prolific in scoring. He never chokes in a shot. You've seen the shots he'll take on more than most players, and it's amazing that he's still doing it at his age, considering the way it used to be for pros. But not just him, John Higgins and Mark Williams. They're still the three top players in the game at the age they are, when they should be, struggling,
Well,
so to speak.
maybe there's a lack of good young players.
Well, that's it. That is it. Ronnie said it himself. When you look beyond the ranks of the top 16, the standard below that isn't very good. I watched Jimmy White the other day, and that was laughable in the Welsh Open.
There's no shortage of good players in pool. All you got to do is go to the Philippines if you want to see a lot of good young players. I was watching a stream last night, Jeff Ignacio against Kyle Aramoto, and I had not seen this Kyle guy till 2 days before.
Never heard of him.
Kyle Amoroto. So I'd never heard of him. Like 2 nights ago, I watched a stream of him playing Anton Ragan, and that was the one that had the roosters growing. And then last night I was watching Race to 21 against him and Jeff Ignacio, and I'd never seen this kid. And here he comes, and he's playing Jeff Ignacio and Anton Raga even, and those are like 2 top players. So it's just crazy how many good young players there are in the Philippines.
Well, I don't
know if you'll ever see them.
That just went slightly wrong there. He bumped to 7, and then it fell back into place as a blocker, so he's going to have to play the combo. But while we've been chatting, the run has gone to 44.
Semi-pro thinks 3 shots ahead on snooker. I think you ought to try thinking like 60 balls ahead for straight pull. See how that works. I think 4 racks in advance.
Well, we have an issue to be dealt with, and he's got plenty of opportunities in the middle of the table to deal with it.
Yeah, all he has to do is get to that 14 ball. The 13 ball, the 1 ball, there's plenty of balls to get to the 14, and no, you don't want to mess with the 5 ball.
He isn't going to try it now, is he? Off this 7. No, this is
what I wouldn't run into those. I wouldn't run into those balls now. No. I would. I would try to work out to the middle of the table and hope I get good on the 13 ball. And if I don't, I've got the 9 or the 11 to shoot in the side. I'd come out behind the 5. Well, not behind the 8, but he got away with it. So now he can just roll forward and bump this 13 ball, shoot the 9 ball, roll forward, bump the 13, and he's perfect on that 14 ball. And I don't know why he's not just already doing this. It's just automatic position because you can bump the 13.
You know something, Slim? I'm pretty certain there's a video somewhere, probably on YouTube, that tells you about the history of Filipino pool.
I just don't get this. What is he doing?
He's doing it his way.
Yeah, but the problem is it was just a gimme to get on that 14 and split those. Now he's going to shoot his break ball to split them. It's so frustrating watching this because they're making simple situation difficult. Now he doesn't have a break ball.
Yeah.
And he was perfect on that 9 ball to roll up and bump the 13. It was natural. All he had to do was put a little topspin on and roll forward.
You might have to use the 8.
Yeah, there's so many players in VP that could be running huge high runs if they just, play better patterns. Because Bedhead's certainly capable of making balls, and he moves the cue ball well, and it's just who's just playing the wrong pattern. And eventually that catches up with you, and that's why you run 50s instead of 250s.
I think there's a big reason as well why the Filipinos play, the light pool. I mean, it's in comparison to a lot of other sports, it's probably fairly cheap to get into. Get yourself a cheap cue,
That's a really key thing, because the thing about pool is pool tables are cheap. It's good for poor areas, and the Philippines are very poor.
Yeah.
In the Philippines, you've got the rich, and you've got the poor, and that's it. There's really not much in the way of a middle class.
Well,
how did he miss that ball?
The run ends in 49, and I think Bedhead just sort of lost his way there big time before he missed that one ball. I think he was just sort of struggling to find his way out.
He's thinking a lot, and that's a hard way to play. It's hard to sit there and think. It wears you down, and you lose focus and you make mistakes.
Yeah, and the thing is, you spend time. You find you probably spend time looking for problems that aren't necessarily there, and then you get yourself confused.
Hairpig needs to do something. He needs to start. He needs to get himself in the rhythm and go.
Yeah, he needs to get a break ball first, though. It's still going to probably have to be that 8 ball, unless he goes behind the pack in the 15s.
The 8 ball is just too high. I think that's it's from a side pocket break. It's okay, but there's no easy way of getting there. He could break on the 15 ball. I mean, he could get to the corner ball off of that and get into the rack. It's not a very good break ball, but it could be used. But, if you were going to use that, you'd want to leave the 14 there to get to it. Yeah, he tried to bump the 10 and make a break ball there and missed it. Well, the 11 ball isn't a terrible break ball, because what you do on that is you get above it and you cut it in the side and you go 2 rails and into the back of the rack. And I think that's what he should play for at this point, is play for the 11 ball. You can get, you could probably get up to 2 diamonds above it and still be okay. And you're almost guaranteed you're going to hit the rack, and you're almost guaranteed it's going to separate, because when you come off that back rail, it's going to open up and you're going to hit the rack at an angle, and it's actually a better break ball than you would think. I haven't seen anybody on VP actually play that break ball, but
he's gonna have to try and get there with a shooter.
Well, he's no good on this 8 ball to get there. I mean, I think at this point he'd have to go 3 rails. He's going to try to break on the 8, which, I think he can get into the rack, but unless he's pretty straight in on that 8, he's not going to be able to hit it very hard. If he's got any angle at all, he's going to be hitting it pretty soft. Well, he actually got pretty straight. Well, maybe too straight.
Yeah. It's a no now. It's run for cover.
Well, I think he understood he was going to have to get pretty straight on it. Well, make it and play safe, make it and go back up table with a cue ball. That's a good play at this point. Has he called a safety yet?
No.
Oh, so he's going to do something stupid.
No, he's probably going to just pot it and then run for cover. But as you say, they're not to stop him calling.
You want to call safe here.
Call safety and draw.
Oh, no, he's doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you call safety, because then the ball goes right on the head spot. And, when you have that ball on that top of the rack, it's a lot harder to play safe, because you've always got the option of rolling it at those top balls and trying to freeze it.
Oh, by
doing that, he allows Bedhead to do this to him. And it's just...
It's got Hairpig in trouble.
Well, he's got a good shot here. Play the 10 off the 1 ball. That carom is not, I'm trying to look at this angle. I think that carom is a reasonable shot. He's not going to shoot it. I think the reason the guys on VP aren't shooting those shots is they just haven't played them much. And if you haven't played them much, then it's hard to understand the angle. You got to hit that.
That's exactly it, Steve. I mean, when they're predominantly playing 9-ball, you're not in this situation. This is a sort of regular thing that you'll have come up in straight pool. You don't have that in any regularity in any of the other games the guys play.
You watch Tony Chohan play one pocket, and he'll shoot stuff like that all the time, like it's nothing, and make it and run out. I mean, he shoots very difficult shots. Well, I'd probably call the bank here. You got to hit this with high and a lot of left English. Get the cue ball in behind that 4. It's real tight. It might double kiss. Well, I'd imagine he's going to play off the 4 ball here.
Yeah, just bank it and run deep.
Yeah, put the 4 behind the rack and put the cue ball up on the end rail. That's not on the end rail.
No, and that's going to be smack time here for Bedhead.
Yeah, this is pretty much a free shot. I'd hit this with maybe a touch inside. Make sure I got into the rack. You don't want to hit the 7 ball. It'd be better to hit the 13. Yeah, maybe he doesn't need any English at all to hit the 13. That's a pretty good cut. Yeah, I think he can shoot this with no English and get into the 5 or 13. Yep, right into the 13 ball. And that's the way you want to hit that. He needed to put some speed on it. That was a beauty there. He's got himself a break ball on the 11, a break ball on the 10.
Yeah.
And, from here, he just needs to leave that 10 and 11 till later. Leave them both just in case. Especially since he seems to have a propensity for shooting his break ball to break up other balls. If you're gonna have that tendency, for sure you want to leave as many as you can.
Yeah, he's got a fair choice at the moment.
Well, I would just shoot this 12 and stop it and then shoot the 1 and break those balls. He doesn't have to do that. I mean, the 14 and 15 are both open. I think it's probably smarter to, the 14's not open unless you shoot the 1.
Right, get rid of the 1. Get rid of the 15.
Get rid of the 1, and then the 14, 15's open. That's probably better than shooting the 1 and shoving those balls over into the 13 and 11. Yeah, I like that approach better.
Nice. Got the spot.
Yeah, he's a little funny here. I mean, yeah, he's good. That's perfect on the 14. Hit this with a little soft draw on the 14. He's going to get the 13 out of here, which is fine. That's probably a better play. Get him. He's probably going to play for the 3. Well, he's on the 14, so he's going to shoot the 14 back up, shoot the 3 back up, shoot the 5, and come out. Well, he underhit that.
Yeah, he's another couple inches back for comfort. Oh.
Yeah, he's fine. I just, I would leave the 6 to get on the 10 just because, you can be fairly straight in and, the shot there is to go forward with a little right English and just kind of come off the rail and let it roll out because that's controllable. I think this is a good thing to do now. Get the 10 and 5 out of the way and then go, from here he's probably going to have to go 9, 7, 6. Now, I don't like leaving that 7 for last because he doesn't have a ball he can just stop and get on it. And if you get funny on it, then it gets tough. I would much rather have the 6 ball as my key ball to get on that 10. Okay, he's gonna that's a good shot. He's going up and dealing with a 7 now. So this is perfect. He can go 7, 9, 6, and it's real easy to get on the 10 ball.
Well,
so he's got a couple choices here. He could just like come back just a little from that 9 ball and then roll it at the 6, or he could come back up and get more straight in and come off the 6 and then come off the rail. They both work. I would probably play the latter, and that's what he's going to do. Now, hopefully, he's not going to do something dumb like draw this.
no,
This shot, you just want to go forward, maybe with a little right English. Yep, that's what he's going to do is go forward, and that's perfect. And see how easy that is? I mean, even I wouldn't mess up that shot. I mean, it's easy if you do the right things.
Yeah.
And, Bedhead, I mean, I see him do the right things so often that it's kind of shocking when he does the wrong things.
Well, like that, you mean?
No, not like that. I mean, everybody's going to make mistakes and miss balls. I mean, that is unfortunate, but I wouldn't call that, that's not a mistake in pattern play or anything. I mean, that's an execution mistake.
Well, the run was only 13, which Hairpig will be glad.
Yeah,
the only thing that, what's he on? 45. How many is that? 49 behind? I can't count. Is it 39 or 49? Something like that. I can't. My brain's gone at this time of night.
It's 49.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's a shame because Bedhead played that beautifully, and see, I shouldn't have been saying how good he played that.
Yeah, you
made him overconfident.
You cussed him.
Yeah, but this rack's beautiful. I'd be shooting the 6 ball right now and rolling down, and so I can shoot the 15, 12, 9. He didn't shoot the 6, which I think it was better to shoot the 6 just because you want to get rid of those balls that are on the rail earlier rather than later.
Well, I think you'll probably do that now, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, you got to get back to it. That's the problem. Like from the 12 ball, getting over to the 6 is hard.
Well, if ever you're going to step up to the plate and dish a good run out, this is about the right time to do it here, Pig. Because you're running out of time.
Yeah, he may. I like shooting that 12 and just come up and bump the 8, shoot the 14. Hopefully have enough angle to slide over and shoot the 6 and 11. I mean, well, that's fine too. He got himself over to the 6 ball.
The thing is he working around the 14 as a possible break ball at the corner of the pack or that 8 ball? Or the 7. That's a bit further away.
I don't think so. I think he's looking at the 7, but I think he can shoot the 11 ball. I'd want to get that out of there, and if he can stop it or pull it back and shoot the 14, that would be nice too.
You can get that clean.
He's looking at it like he doesn't like it. Yeah, he kind of overhit that 6 ball.
Well, I think he doesn't like it because it's a bit straight and he doesn't want to draw back. I mean, what was to stop him potting it and then get rid of the 15 and get back into the table?
He can shoot the 14 and shoot the 8 ball and then shoot the 14. He's got the 5 and 15 there. It's hard to mess this up.
So we're pretty much deciding that he's going for the 7.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, if things go awry, he's got the 15 at the back of the pack on the rail.
He's going to shoot that pretty quick here. He's going to probably try to go from the 15 to the 11. He's going to go up here and then shoot the 11. That's okay too, because this is natural. Come around and shoot the 14. It's just a question of you got to get it to the rail before not hit the 15. It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
He's going to bump it. He decided he's just going to draw it and bump it. So it's all good here. He's working through it okay. I think he'll leave the 4 ball to get on the 7 and everything's good.
Right, so 5, 15, 14 up, or 10 ball up the table.
Yeah, or he could shoot the 10 on the side, but he'll probably shoot it up table. Well, he got a little funny in the 15. He's going to be shooting the 10 in the same corner pocket as the 15. Yeah, that's perfect. And really, anywhere reasonably close to straight. Exactly straight's not great. Me personally, I prefer this angle because you can get the cue ball coming down on a nice line off the long rail here, where you can have some roll out. He's not putting English on us, is he? Yeah, I would have put some English on that.
He needs to slow up big time. Oh dear.
Oh, he really overhit that. I would have hit that softer with English. Tried to open it up a little. Now, we've already seen him have trouble with this shot from the other side of the table. Now, one thing that's sort of interesting is sometimes people cut balls one way better than the other. So, from the other side, he hit it thin. The tendency, if you look at it wrong, would be on this side to hit it thick. Because that's not that unusual. Well, he hit that one thin too. So, well, at least he's consistent.
Well, put it this way, I think this could have finished a lot worse with what he's left here.
Well, a 3 ball's not a hard shot. I mean,
it's going to be the only
he'll
shot.
end up shooting a 3 ball. I mean, the racks, Bedhead's probably going to pop off some kind of big run here. He's just got to, there's no real danger shooting this ball. Except for that.
Well.
All right, well, that's one time where the tighter pockets did hurt him, because that would have gone in the looser pocket.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bedhead's not getting the big finish tonight because he was on.
Hairpig needs to punish him for that. I mean, he got a reprieve here. He missed the break shot. He got funny on it. He missed it, and now he's got a reprieve. He needs to take advantage. I mean, last time it was only a 14-ball run. He needs to do,
he's
at
got
least 30 here.
Yeah, got to get 30 odd here to get into the game. Got to apply a bit of pressure.
We got another bot there.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know how to deal with them. Haven't a clue. I've tried everything to get rid of them. And to be honest with you, I don't think YouTube are doing very much to get rid of them.
Yeah, well, bots can be hard to get rid of. Well, he's got a break ball with a 6. It's not a great one, but it'll work. He's got a break ball with a 10. He's got a break ball with a 9. So he's got plenty of choices here.
You got a bailout ball over the corner pocket here at the bottom.
You shoot this 14 and slide over and shoot the 6 or 11. Possibly get an angle where you can bump the 1 or 5, and you're off and running.
Oh,
Well, he did not come across the table.
well,
He needed to hit that with some stun and come across the table.
yeah, I think he's going to have to call the 3 here.
I mean,
bail out.
That's trying to roll one when you didn't want to be rolling one. Looks like he's trying to run into the 5 ball here. He's putting some inside on this. Okay, that's a good shot. That was well done. He cleaned up his problem and everything. Well, he's lucky he didn't get pinned on that 6 ball. He's got the picture of Corey, but he's not playing like Corey. I'm not sure I've ever seen Corey play straight pool. I'm sure he plays pretty good. I mean, he does everything well.
Well, 6 ball's been nudged. It could do as well.
Oh yeah, this is beautiful here. But looking at this, see if you want to see a good pattern, like 6 ball and then the 4 ball as a key ball for your break ball to get on that 10, because you can just let it roll forward a teeny bit and
Yeah.
that see. Recognizing that 6 ball is in a good spot to go 6-4 is, and instead he just gets rid of it. Now, normally if that ball extended from the side pocket, I wouldn't keep it for a break ball. But if I've got another ball like the 6 there, then I know that I can get a good shot on that 4 ball where I'm going to have a reasonable angle to just sort of roll it and be good on my break ball. And that's the kind of thing you want to look for at this point in the rack, because instead he's, going to futz around and get rid of those and then potentially struggle to get on his break ball.
I was thinking he was going to keep the 9 there and try and use it to get to the 10 or vice versa, but he's...
I mean, I don't... What's he doing? I hope he's not getting a missed call. I guess he was turning it off. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I would have liked the 5 to get on one of those balls, but
I think that's what he's doing. I think he's going to take the 5, run out for the 7.
He's going to use the 9 or 10 to get on the other one, which isn't a terrible plan, only because you've got both of them sitting there. So, it's hard to get funny on both of them.
Yeah.
If only one of them was a viable break ball and you were using the other to get on it, then, you can get in real trouble with both of them there.
Yeah, I think that went wrong, Steve, because he went the wrong side of the 7 and he had to take that other ball.
I think he still could have shot the 7. I mean, this idea of, the 7's a great ball to get on a 10 ball is only true if you've got a shot where you can get on that 7 ball reliably. And that kind of draw shot is not that shot.
Well, he's done okay.
Well, that was well played. I mean, that was a nice little shot he played to get on it. And he needs to draw this. It's going to hit into the bottom of the 4 ball. He needs to put more than stun on this. I think he needs a full tip of draw, or he could draw this hard. I don't think he can scratch on this. This is one of the ones I might try to draw back off the end rail by putting a lot of juice on it. That way you hit the end rail and come back down table some, just like that. Don't do it to him. Don't do it. Yeah, I think he played that actually pretty well. Yeah, the pros can play anything. You're right, Slim. Yeah, Earl doesn't play bad in one pocket. It's more run out one pocket, but that works. he's going to have to soft draw this if he's going to shoot the 13 next. And he's not confident in that shot. I guess he could roll this and still get on the 13. You'd have to hit it easy. Yeah, I think you can get away rolling this. He's just got to hit it easy. If you soft draw it, you can screw up and put yourself on the 5 ball if you're not careful. Yeah, he hit a little kill shot. That's well done. And that's a good option when you're, I use that shot in real life a lot where you don't want to roll it, so you kill it just a little bit with a little bit of draw. Sometimes it's easier to control the cue ball that way. Well, what do you think, Hugh? Is he going to pop off a big run here? He's already at 17.
Well, he's not going to do that if he doesn't start moving stuff.
Yeah, he's looking at the 9 ball here. He wants to get out of the way so he can shoot the 3. The 3 goes on the side, but it's tight.
Right, I mean, the obvious thing he's going to do here is take the 8, go up to the 15. Or, I mean, the problem's at 9 ball. I mean, the 3 ball's the ball that could get in amongst them to open that bunch up. But the problem is the 9 ball stuck there. And now,
well, he can go right now. He can cut this 15 on the side and go 2 rails into the back of him. You want to hit this with speed. But that's what I do right now is I would...
he's looking at a combo.
He's going to shoot the combo. Yeah, this isn't bad, but I think the biggest issue with this is he's not going to get into the rack. I think he's way better off shooting the 15 here and just going 2 rails into the back of him with speed.
Well, the cue ball's heading left in the gap between the 6 and 14 by the look of it. He doesn't want to be dead in the bunch of balls.
He can't get any speed on this. He's going to have to hit the 3 ball too straight. With the 15, he can get plenty of speed on the cue ball and come right into the back of that rack. But again, it's like not used to playing straight pull. He was sitting perfect to shoot that shot. It was going to move the balls, and chances were he was going to come up with a shot. And instead, that combo was not going to be that productive, even if he made it.
Yeah, run engine 19. Bedhead should be in 3 figures after this visit. Well, this Bedhead now going to finish the match the way he's finished his last 2 by killing it right here now.
I don't know. He might. That was just a shame for Hairpig. I mean, he was just sitting so perfect on that 15 ball. But that's what I mean about playing straight pull. If you play a lot of straight pull, you've shot that break shot, you're familiar with it, and in that situation you'd recognize, hey, this is the shot to shoot.
Well, that's exactly it. It's the familiarity, repetition. Because there's repetition with types of shots you're playing all the time. But that's in different games. In this game, you spot those automatically. It's an automatic pilot thing if you've played this game that often and long enough. Because you've had that situation too many times in the past.
Well, part of the problem is these guys are all watching each other, and they're not seeing somebody do these other shots. That's why you go watch straight pull on YouTube or something, you'll see some of those other shots. Now, you won't see them that often because, if you're watching pros on YouTube, they're pretty good at getting the break shots that they want.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see the more uncommon ones that much, but they do come up.
Well, it's going to be a 56 run out for victory here for Bedhead.
Well, he might do it. I mean, I think he's going to want to leave the 9 ball for last. I would shoot 6, 15, 9. I'm not sure what he's looking at. I mean, the 6 ball, all he has to do is hit it and draw back and then shoot the 9 ball or 15 ball and then shoot the 9. I mean, this decision-making thinking is, when a guy takes this long to do an obvious situation, it just means that, he's just not familiar with, playing these kind of patterns for straight pull. I think when you play 9 ball all the time, it's simple because there's only one ball you can shoot. So there's not a lot of decision making. When you can shoot any ball on the table and all of a sudden it's like, oh, which one should I shoot?
Well, that's the attitude a lot of BP4 players have, though, Steve. Is it's you're spoiled for choice with balls to pot, but there's a lot of players don't. I think because the guys have been in this tournament the last couple of years, they've certainly put a lot more thinking into what they're doing. Okay, you've played straight pull, you've seen the best players play it. These guys haven't, and that they've never spent any length of time watching a lot of straight pull matches to learn. But I think they are going through a learning process, and it isn't going to happen overnight. But
they are.
These guys, and we're talking about players like Bedhead, semi-pro, and the guys that are getting deep in the tournament. There's a reason why they're getting there, because they are working at it. They're not doing it exactly right all the time, but they're doing their best to do it their way. The more experience you get, the better it become.
You're right. I mean, Bedhead's thinking of it a lot. Unfortunately, too much, but he figured out the right pattern. He played the right pattern there. It's just, it's not obvious. It wasn't obvious to him, so he had to think about it a lot, which it's hard to play pool that way. But, on the plus side, he's learning. He did the right thing there, and the more times you do it right, the more it reinforces it, and the more times you do it wrong, the more it reinforces don't do that.
Yeah.
Clarky says sometimes it's a shot you feel most comfortable with. Well, yeah, I agree with that to some extent.
I don't think the pros would have that attitude though.
Well, when you're talking about these patterns like the one that he just had, I mean, it was so simple. There's nothing uncomfortable about shooting that pattern. It's just realizing it's there. There were no tricky shots. It's just, you got 3 balls and you can shoot them in any order, and that gives 6 combinations of shots, and you got to choose one. And if it's not obvious to you, then you end up thinking about it.
But good pros don't back down from the right shot to play.
Most good players don't what I call cinch balls. Cinching a ball is not playing the shot that is the best shot. They're just making sure they make the ball and not shooting a correct shot. And most good pros don't do that. But that said, I've seen even good pros do that before. I mean, it's just not their typical mode of operation. I know for me I tend to shoot the shot that's required, and if I'm not playing good, then it doesn't work that well. If you're playing good, it works great. So I don't know. I'm not against cinching balls sometimes. It's just straight pull. It's on straight pull, you don't shoot that many difficult shots if you're playing it the right way. It's like it's the 6 ball, the 3 ball, the 10 ball. None of these shots are like shots you got to think about or you got to be like scared of shooting. They're all just such simple shots.
Now again, he's got a couple of balls, 3 balls to work with to get to the 1.
Yeah, and there's nothing obviously great. I mean, the 15 ball looks great, but it's not because he doesn't really have a good ball to get to it. I mean, if you were going to shoot the 15 last, you'd want to keep the 10 because you can play off that 10 and get reasonable on the 15. But he's in a situation where he needs to shoot the 10, so he's probably better off leaving the 2 ball for last. And if this was me, I'd probably go 9, 15, 2, but 15, 9, 2 is okay too. I mean, neither one. I don't think either one of those is a bad choice, as long as he shoots the 2 last.
Well,
he's still okay here. He can draw this ball back and get good on the 2. Yeah, he didn't want to leave that much angle, but I think he's either going to have to roll this so it barely gets to the pocket, or he's going to have to shoot this with some speed and go 2 rails.
Yeah, 2 rails, I would think. I don't think chickening out and playing that shot's going to get him on the spot.
And that's why I would have gone with the 9 first, just because it was easy to slide over and get on the 15, or shooting that draw shot to get on the 9 was potentially going to get you a little funny, which it did. But he hit that 2 ball perfect, and now he's wonderful. He's going to go right into the 13 with some stun here, probably. This is a shot I wouldn't draw. I'd probably just stun it. He's a little above center, which I wouldn't do, and that's why.
Cue ball.
Yeah. Well, he hit that above center. He didn't stun it. And, you got to see that it's hitting that 13 pretty square, and you didn't want to go forward off of that.
Run is 24. He's heading home.
I tell you what, you will see the really good players in real life scratch sometimes off the break, but not on a break like that. They'd have to have another ball come over and kick it or something. They wouldn't like scratching that corner.
Now, how are those balls sitting? Well, he doesn't really need to do a lot. He can get rid of the 4 ball at the back of the pack too.
The table's sitting good.
These balls have got a pocket to go into. He didn't want to do that though. He didn't want to do that.
Terrible.
He's bailed out in the 5 though. He's got lucky.
He's lucky he's got the 5. Yeah, and he gets the 4 out of the way, and the 15, 10, 6 go. I mean, this. Yeah, that was
that's how,
that was an oopsie.
That's how a table that looks not too bad can suddenly look really ugly just for one shot.
You just don't want to roll into a cluster of balls like that. You're just asking, if you're going to go on a cluster of balls, it needs to be with speed.
He's nailed that. Perfect.
Yeah, now he's got a chance to run into the 9 ball, which I would probably do here just to open up that 9-12. I would not hit the 12 ball first. I would be playing this to hit the 9 ball first. Because he's going to get a shot then on the 7 or the 12 or the 2. Well, he hit it pretty thin, but he's still fine. Better to do that and make sure you're hitting only the 9 than to catch the 12 first. That's the old make sure, which is good as long as you don't make sure too good. I've had that affliction where I'm making sure and I make sure a little too good. That's called being so smart, you end up being stupid. Well, I think he's going to get through this rack. He may run this whole thing out, Hugh.
Well, that'll be the 3rd time in a row. He's going to do his damnedest to do it.
He's got his choice. He can either take the 3 as a break ball or the 7. If he's going to take the 7, the 9 ball is sitting perfect to get on the 7. I would prefer the 3 ball, and I think that's what he's probably going to play for.
Well, you talking about the 7 into the side?
Yeah, I mean, that's when you want to look at those side pocket break shots, when you have something like a 9 ball, where the 9 ball is, where you can just shoot a stop shot and you're perfect. Because the problem with those side pocket break shots is you get a few inches one way or another, and they're no good. So you got to have a ball that gives you a shot to be on that break ball. I mean, I would still play for the 3, but it's just I just mention it because it's recognizing that easy way of getting on that side pocket break shot is available. I mean, that's what you need to do to play good straight pool is recognize those situations and understand that they're there for you, whether you use them or not.
Of course, the other thing if you're playing that position for the 9 ball to play the cut in that 7, you've got to have some sort of angle on that 9 so you're not sticking to the rail. Well, there goes the 7, so 3 ball it is.
Well, I didn't think he'd do that. He's going to use the 8 to get on the 3. I'd probably go forward with this. I don't know if he will. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go forward. I think that's a smart play here because it gives you a natural angle on the 8. See, that almost guarantees you're going to come up with a pretty nice angle where you can just draw back off the long rail and get good on the 3 ball. This you just want to stun with a little bit of English. You don't really want to draw this as much as stun it with English.
Yeah, the stunning a little. Well, I don't think he really put much on it at all, but
he didn't really put much in the way of English on it. I mean, I think all that was on it was what came off the ball, which is fine. He's willing to accept a longer shot here. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. He definitely needs to draw this ball, and pretty hard because he's going into the bottom of the 2 ball, which is, this ball can shoot right in the pocket, and he did. He hit that really well. These guys are learning, Hugh. I mean, I think Bedhead's gotten significantly better playing straight pool.
Well, he's got better his last 3 matches, the way he's being consistently deadly in the last 2 matches and finishing them off. I mean, you can't do much better than that. Okay, we haven't had huge runs, but it's big enough runs that is too much for the opponent.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Bedhead is definitely one of the guys to watch in this tournament. I mean, I think him and Albin actually are the top 2 guys going right now.
Yeah, they're the favourites to meet in the final, but there's still 2 more after this one who will have a say in it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't assume that Stubbs going to lose to Albin, but Albin's a pretty heavy favorite.
So the run is 40. He's 16 away, so he's going to need 1 more rack. Yeah,
and I mean, I think he's going to get there. I mean, everything's sitting good this rack. There's no trouble. Right now, the 13 ball looks like a good break ball, and he's going to go 12-11 here and get rid of that stuff. He's still got to get the 7 out of there. He could even break off the 7 ball, although I like the 13 a lot better.
5 and 6 are fine. They both go.
Yeah, he should get out this route, barring any kind of silliness like dogging it. I'm always a little surprised when somebody dogs it in a straight pool. I'm less surprised in real life. I mean, I've seen the greatest players ever, dog balls that you would think they're never going to miss this.
I think Hairpig is resigned to the inevitable happening here.
Well, Hairpig came out and gave it a good go. I mean, I think Hairpig could be a really good straight pool player. Like a lot of the guys on this, he's just got to, learn to play better patterns. Well, there's that dog.
There we go. Well,
there it is.
There goes the excellent finish.
There he goes, bow wowing.
Well, it's 60 points behind?
Yeah, well, basically he needs to keep him off the table. If he lets him get to the table, it better be in a safety situation.
Well, this is definitely a last chance saloon.
Yeah, he's I mean I've seen guys, they'll run 30, 40, play safe, run 30, 40, play safe.
Yeah.
I mean that happens in straight pool. But you've got to have the savvy to understand how to, do all those things, when to play safe and how to do it. And, we've already seen Hairpig with a chance to call a safety, put
Yep.
the cue
Pot
ball
that.
on the top end and have a full rack out there, and he didn't do it. So,
Yeah. Pot that 7 and just come back to the end rail and.
yeah, so that doesn't bode well for this idea that he can make runs and lock them up and make runs and lock them up, because I just don't think he's played enough straight pool to recognize those situations. So
Yeah.
instead, I think he's going to need to pop off some kind of really big run here.
Yeah, he needs to get nasty.
Now remember, when things look bad and it looks like you're not going to make it, then you got to get mean. I mean plumb mad dog
He
mean.
underhit that. That was one he needed to come out more. Now he's got himself funny on this ball.
Well, he's just going to bring it out into the table. Presumably, I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to hit it hard enough that he's going to go anywhere near the 9.
Well, the problem is he needs to get it past the 13, but the problem is he doesn't want to be very far past. Well,
Yeah.
he hit that good.
Yeah, it's a 13. I thought it was a 9.
So this one I would just roll this one, maybe a little bit of left English, and that's what he's done. Yep. All right, so this is a nice kind of break shot, because it's almost impossible to scratch from here with the object ball this far away. You could only scratch up in the corner. Like, he's putting way too much draw on this. This is one you kind of like a little bit of draw. Now he got away with it.
Bonus ball as well.
Yep. All right, well, let's see if Hairpig can make a last stand and not an Alamo last stand, because
they all died in that, Steve.
Exactly. Don't need that kind of last stand. He needs like one where he comes out as a winner, not dead.
Quite look at that 12 ball. That 12 ball goes clean, no problem. The only problem is it still leaves the 3 and 4 stuck.
Slim saying Hairpig plays everything well. Yeah, I mean, he's a thoughtful person. I think he just needs to play more straight pull. I'm sure he'll get a lot better at it.
Well, he's going to take the 12 now, because that'll get the breakout in these two.
But yeah, you don't want to roll this. You got to hit this a little speed.
Yeah,
and that's why you don't want to roll it.
He needed to open up so he could go on the 11.
Well, with two balls like that, there's a lot of weight. You can't roll that ball. You got to put some speed into it. You could have drawn it just a little bit, because to pull it back off the 4, something. Either, I think in that situation, you would be better off hitting it with a little more speed and drawing it a little, because then it comes sideways, clips the 4 and comes out. If he was going to go forward like that, he needed to put a lot of speed into it.
He's trying to roll behind the 11.
Yeah, this is tough.
And that's not bad.
He's hit it
pretty damn good.
That's actually really good.
I mean, that's nailed.
That's a beautiful shot.
As good as.
Beautiful shot. But, he shouldn't have been in that situation. He should have been still at the table. It's just...
Yeah, just another spoonful of porridge in the morning, they would have got that cue ball through those 2 balls.
Yeah, it's just not recognizing the situation. And the question is, are these guys going to play more straight pool through the year, or the next time they play it going to be the next straight pool world championship?
Well, you've already answered your own question there, Steve.
Well, I've been trying to get people to play Filipino rotation, because that is a phenomenal game. And I'd love to have a world championship in it, but I don't know how many people are going to do it.
Well, none of these guys play any other rotation games other than 9 and 10 ball.
Yeah, well, at least some are playing 10 ball. You know what the problem is? It's monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah,
And in Europe, what's on TV is 9 ball.
yeah.
And 9 ball is a terrible game for pros. 10 ball is so much better. If you go on YouTube and you watch the streams of the Filipinos gambling, it's almost never 9 ball. It's probably 95% 10 ball, because 9 ball is just, if you're really good, 9 ball is just not that good a game. And I think people play 9 ball here because they see it on TV. And in the U.S., there's still a lot of 9 ball here too. We play more 10 ball here than they do in Europe, but not as much as like the Philippines.
Yeah, the problem's the coverage over here. I mean, the major tournaments that are going to be played this year are 9 ball. Yeah, you've got the UK Championships or whatever it is that's sold out, and then you've got the World Championships. They're all 9 ball.
Yeah, and you got the
Moscone Cup.
Moscone Cup, and the thing is, Matchroom Pool, they don't give a shit about pool or Matchroom Sports. I've had discussions with them. Yeah. I mean, I offered them to do like a tracking system so that they could set it up and show tracking lines and show the shots and stuff. And I talked to the head producer at the Moscone Cup. You know what he told me? He says to me, we don't really care about pool. We only do a couple telecasts a year.
That's exactly true.
That's what he says.
I can believe that.
They're not trying to make the sport better. They're not doing anybody any favors by playing 9 ball tournaments. I mean, they've got this idea that that's what the fans at home want to watch. So that's what they'll do.
Well, I think the other thing is as well, there's not, there is a big population play pool and snooker, not as big as what there probably was either in the UK or Europe or the USA, but you're catering for the masses. And if you were to try and get coverage of a tournament, then it has to be the box office one, and the box office one is first of all, it's the championship of whatever, but more often than not, the box office will be pool, 9 ball. It won't be anything else. I mean, you couldn't introduce, straight pool to the masses in this country. They'd switch off because, first of all, again, like most people, they think, oh, they're doing pot and ball. So, where's the interest in this? It's like me, for example. I mean, I like watching Test match cricket, and there's guys who'll say, oh, that's boring, 6 hours, and Americans will say that as well, that's boring, you're sitting there 3 sessions of 2 hours a day, and then after 5 days it can end in a draw. But for anybody who loves watching cricket and can appreciate what the bowler's trying to do, what the batsman's trying to do, what the spin bowler's trying to do, what the field position, all of that stuff, you have to be a connoisseur to appreciate and get enjoyment out of something like that. That's what I do. But if you try and explain that to somebody, they're just going to, you're talking over their head.
But that's the whole thing about education, and that's why like the tracking lines would have been so powerful. Because I'll tell you this right now, American football is by far the biggest sport in the U.S., money-wise. I mean, by far. Nothing else comes close to it. What made it popular was when John Madden got on there in the telestrator, umpteen up years ago, and
showing
he
the
started
plays,
drawing lines on the screen, showing what this defensive guy does and what this, because now people could understand it. Because let me tell you, most people here don't play football.
Yeah,
it's not like in Europe where everybody grows up and plays soccer. People don't play football here. It's a violent sport where you get hurt. It's not something that you're going to see. Very few, a low percentage of the population plays football. So that's what made the difference is the way they did the telecast. Yeah. And that could happen with pool.
I mean, they use the telestrator in snooker. But the thing is, I mean, I've watched a couple of the broadcasts recently, the Welsh Open, and they don't seem to be using it. It seems to be the BBC are using it, and the commentators use it very occasionally to put a circle to show where the player's trying to put the cue ball, or to show the line that he wants the cue ball to run to get onto a particular red. I've seen them use it in the BBC. And well, there's Bedhead's given another chance.
There's one more chance.
3-ball shot. But yeah, I mean, maybe you weren't talking to the right guy, Steve. You need to go.
Yeah.
You need to go above somebody like that, because first of all, any TV producer or anything like that hasn't a clue about the game to start with. All they're interested is the camera work and the broadcast and everything. They don't know the ins and outs of.
Yeah, you know. But I think what he's saying is probably true. Matchroom just doesn't care about pool that much. I mean, they don't do that much of it. They're not looking to expand the sport. I mean, we have a problem in the U.S. here, or it's just not on TV.
Yeah, and it isn't here either, Steve. You've got to remember that there is no pool whatsoever on terrestrial television over here. So unless you pay a subscription to Sky, or Eurosport, you're not going to see anything. You're only going to see snooker on the free to view channels in the UK. You don't see any pool at any time during the year. None.
I think I think what's going to help pool a lot is just how much streaming's going on, because there's plenty of pool streams.
Oh yeah, I mean you can
watch pool a lot.
You can watch pool to your heart's content on the streams. You've just got to link to the right ones on Facebook and places like that, and YouTube, and you can watch pool all day.
I'll tell you what, those Filipinos are gambling full. There's a match being streamed. There's so many matches being streamed to the Philippines, and every single one of those, they're gambling. They're never playing for free. When you see those matches, they are always gambling. Now, they don't advertise what they're playing for, and I'm not sure why, but I guarantee you it's a lot of money on every single one of those matches.
Yeah. And the thing is, as well, a lot of these, young guys who are starting gambling in the Philippines, it might sound funny to say it, but it's a way that they're going to get some income. Because they are poor, and that's the one way. Maybe they've got one talent that they can try and benefit from it, and get a buck to get them by that day.
That's exactly what they're doing. I mean, they start gambling, it's not their own money. The rich guys are betting, and the rich guys start backing the kids. They could be 11, 12, 13, 14. But most of those kids, sometime in that time frame start playing for money. And, by the time they're 18 or 19 years old, they've played thousands of gambling matches.
Yep.
If they ever put a pool in the Olympics, bet on the Philippines.
Well, at least Hairpig's going to get to 3 figures, so the scoreboard looks nicer.
Yeah, Hairpig's played a decent match. He just, he just needs to work on a straight pool game, because he definitely could be pretty good at straight pool. He's got the skills to do it. Well,
I'm going to tempt fate here and say this, but are we going to have a sensational finish from Hairpig? Last chance saloon. Bedhead 3 points away from the finishing line, and Hairpig at the point of no return.
He's doing something weird here. Okay, that looks better. Oh,
needs to bounce. Needs to bounce.
Well, this is his least favorite shot, because he's missed the shot twice already.
Yep.
And they've both been overcut. So let's see if he can get the visual. Let's see if we can get the visual, or he doesn't overcut this.
And what he doesn't want to do is chicken out. Well, he's gone for 100%. He gets the reward.
Right in the center of the pocket. All right, I think he's figured out the angle.
Yeah.
Boy, I think he might have to shoot the 6 ball here. Oh, no, he's got the 11 ball. And he's got the 9 ball. 9 ball or the 11 ball?
Well,
You could shoot the 6 too, but I like the 9 or 11 better. There's 11, and he's off and running.
right.
Oh, Master Power showed up.
No, that's him. He's come and gone.
I've already got a subwoofer that I built myself, and I'm running 3,000 watts into it, and it's plenty of boom boom. I can shake the house.
What's he saying? I never read the bit above. Steve, what do you think about Stubb moving in with you? Steve, now that
Talk
would be...
Talk about a nightmare.
Have you ever thought about it?
That ain't happening.
Have you ever thought? Have you spoken to Brenda about adoption?
Yeah, that's not happening.
You'd probably need to get a cage fitted out in the yard, just to tie him up at night.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, good luck to Hairpig.
Hairpig needs to just keep it rolling. I think he's got a break ball on the 14, and I don't think the 9's any good. The 7 ball is good in the side pocket.
Perfect in the side pocket off that 14.
He's got the 2 or the 14 to get on the 7, but I don't think he's going to play for that. I mean, he hasn't played for one of those yet.
Yep, that is plumb to the side pocket and right into the pack off that 14 to the 7. But I think he's going to have to take the 14 because he's blocked out in the 9, is he?
Well, he could shoot the 12 if he wants. Yeah. He shoot the 12 and run into the 4 and maybe get another break ball. He's going to shoot the 14 and go this way. He's probably going to roll forward and try to bump the 6. I'm not sure that that's a wise move, though. Maybe not quite there to do it. No, he's not going to do it. He's just going to stop. Well, this is dangerous if he's going to run into the 15. You better hit this with speed. You don't want to get behind these. Yeah, he got behind him. That's, you wanted to make sure that you hit the 15 ball solid or a little on the other side of it so the cue ball didn't go behind it. He came out okay.
Now, what does he do? Does he go up for that 5 right now?
I think he's going to wait.
What if he takes the 5, Steve, rolls the 6 in, comes around the other side of the 7? Sorry.
It's just hard to get on it's hard to get the right angle on the ball. I mean, he could do it, but it's hard to get the right angle. I think he's going to try to break off that 7 in the corner, which is doable.
No, it's right
I think
on
he
the
can
point.
get to the rack. It's pretty high. It's close, but I think he can get a piece of that outside ball from
Well,
there.
he needs to keep going. Well, I don't think he'll have a better chance of getting good on it because he's sitting pretty nice in the 5.
Yeah, getting a little straighter helps on the 7 ball. Helps you get into the rack. He's probably going to try to get fairly straight on this, is my guess. Oh, he did not get straight at all.
Oh dear, that's a disaster. I mean, that is over hit by 2 feet.
Yeah, and he's barely going to get any of the rack. Maybe not at all. Well, you can play the carom 7 off the 9, but that's not a shot I recommend.
No, this is where you run for cover.
I think here you just cut the 7, go behind the rack with it, and go up to the head rail. No, see, this is the wrong play because now he's going to.
Yeah, he's going to be in the long grass in a minute.
Well, he's okay here.
Oh no, wait a minute, he can't.
But he's gonna end up with the 7 ball in the middle of the table and the cue ball on the end rail here. Well, he didn't do that. I would have put the cue ball on the end rail. But he is in a spot where Hairpig can't go up tables.
Well, Hairpig had a run of, what was that, 24, 25 there. Had to run for cover, and now he needs to win the next safety battle. Simple as that. He's got to come out a winner regardless, whatever happens.
Well, that one ball is pretty close to being dead. I don't think it is.
Oh, I think if you smack that 4 onto the 11, well, it's certainly not now, but I think that was, it looked pretty set to me there. Now, anything doing?
This is going to devolve very quickly. When you're playing on this side of the table like this, somebody's going to get a shot pretty soon.
Well, he can't fall short of the pack here if he's skimming the 10 or the 2 or whatever.
Well, it looks to me like that 9 ball is dead in the side pocket. But he'd have to go off the end rail into the 2 ball with speed.
Mm.
But I think it's close. It may go a little long. I'd be afraid to shoot it if I wasn't real confident that it was going in the hole, because that's a risky shot.
Well, sooner or later, somebody's going to finish short on the back of that pack. And, well, that 13 falls in a way. It's a bit of a blocker if you fall short when you think about it. The only other thing you'd have to worry about would be the 4 ball, but that 11 ball goes clean into the side, so you just cannot finish short anywhere on that right side.
I don't know what Hairpig's looking at right now, but I think he needs to brush the back of the rack again. That was not well at all. Yeah, I mean, that was unwise.
Yeah,
he needed to brush the back of the rack, and that was a bad time to try something different.
Yeah, it's all over because the 3 balls are in the open.
Well, we keep saying that, and Bedhead keeps not getting her. Nice. You would think that it would be all over.
He's got it this time. We'll have
Barring
a look at
bow wow.
We'll have a look at the stats in a little sec, just to catch up. By the way, Stub, are you still there? Are you going to accept this proposal from Albinario?
Yeah, or are we going to have to DQ you? Well, that's it.
So Bedhead goes through by 150 points to 115, and Hairpig did have his chances, but it wasn't to be. It was asking a lot to get the big run out. Right, so what was I saying there? Yeah, going to the bracket, to the stats. Let's have a quick look. So the longest run's not changed. It's still 87 for Mr. Fox. Bedhead 71. Hairpig 67. Albinario 61. And Stub on 60. And Matt on 57. And that is it as far as the stats go. Because the only ones that are going to change are those that are still left in the tournament. What was the other one I wanted to look at? Let's look at the average run. Well, that's still Albinario out in front. But Bedhead's catching him because he was at 16 something. He's now gone to 17. He's chasing down Albinario. And Stubbs still way back in 11. Tommy in 10. Larry's still there in 10. And Moz in 10. Hairpig's down at 9. What was the other thing I was wanting to look at? Not that one. Points per turn. That was the one. So points per turn, Albinario is still double anybody else. in his visits. Again, we've got to remember and take into context he's played less matches, so his average is going to be higher. And then behind him is Acero, and then Bedhead. So there's not much in it there. Stubborn 5.7, Tommy 5.3, Hairpig and under 5. But the man that's setting the pace for the run is Albie. So that's the big showdown. Albinario and Stubb. Is Stubb gone now? What's he saying? Oh, he's just talking crap again. Right, anyway, that is it, guys. I don't know when this match is going to be played. But as I say, I'm off all this week, so it's going to be some point, I would imagine. Whenever that'll be, we'll find out. Thank you all for your company. Thanks to Steve for joining us. Probably join us again if it's at the right time to suit.
Yeah, I'd like to be there to watch Albin and Stubb play.
Right then, so I will bid you good night. Take care. We'll see you again, and same to yourself, Steve.
Good night, guys.
See you later, chaps.
Machines, no bowling alleys, just pool, nothing else. No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool.